Syngenta Canada and C&M Seeds present the Wheat School on realagriculture.com.
Just outside Woodstock, Ontario, we're talking wheat, winter wheat planting tips with Peter Johnson. Peter, we got some soil, we got some seed beds to work on. What are you telling growers?
So I really think that growers need to start realizing that seeding wheat or winter barley, whatever, it all starts at the combine. So you can see in this field that there's a tremendous range in how much residue there is. We're on black dirt here, there's residue over there. This is edible beans, it's always like this, but it happens in soybeans as well. And if you think for 1 second that your drill can do as good a job of putting seed in the ground where the residue is heavy versus where it's not, you're absolutely wrong. Soil temperature's warmer here, going to get faster emergence, going to be tougher to get the seed into the ground without hairpinning residue. We have to start at the combine. So first up, make sure you get that stuff spread out uniformly. Once it's like this, I can't solve it. No tillage will solve it. The other thing that you have to realize is that we always start planting wheat after edible beans. That's almost always where it happens. That's a great thing because we plant early, it's got high yield potential. But just have a look at how loose this soil is. And so we get down here and this, because we've pulled those beans, there's no resistance. It's like we've cultivated it 4 or 5 times. We set the drill here. The immediate tendency is to go too deep because it's so loose. So we're backing off, and really quite important, the earlier you seed, the shallower you seed. So at this time of year, excellent moisture here, it's just rained, 1 inch deep is all I want. I want to let that crop get out of the ground, start to tiller this fall, it'll make that secondary root system. I don't want it deep. So we really have to watch our seeding depth. When I'm planting early, I want to plant nice and shallow, that 1 inch depth, so I get the crop out of the ground fast and I let the secondary root system develop and actually anchor that crop in the ground. The later I plant, I want to go deeper and deeper, which is kind of counterintuitive, but the reason is that as I get later in the fall, it won't make that secondary root system. It doesn't have time to develop that anchor into the soil, so I go a little bit deeper to protect from frost heave and also so that I can get a little bit of soil to act as an insulator if I don't have snow cover and protect the seed from cold injury. So really quite critical that the later I go, the deeper I plant. Within reason, I don't want to see wheat at 3 inches deep, but the later I go, I want to make sure that I'm at least 1 inch and then maybe 1.5 inches even once we get into that mid-October, late October time frame. The other real challenge with this scenario is with this loose dirt. Now I set my drill perfectly for here. Everything's working excellent. The next field I plant into is a no-till soybean field. I've combined the soybeans, we don't pull them, I combine them. Right away I chase the combine with the drill, exactly what I should do, except that I'm sitting in the combine and I have somebody else I've hired to run that drill, and they're really good at driving straight up and down the field, turning on the auto steer, but they aren't getting out and digging. And even as much as we think these drills should always put that stuff in the ground at the right depth, you would not have any idea, you can't count the number of calls I've gotten next spring where they left it set for this condition and they were putting it in 1 inch deep here. They went to that no-till soybean field and suddenly they're only 1/2 inch deep when it's later and they already should be down at that 1.25 inch depth. So a whole lot about seed bed preparation that I really think is critical that guys just kind of slip the clutch on. They don't always get where they need to be.